welcome to this video. Well, today in this video, I'm going to discuss about two statistical terms, relative risk and odds ratio, and in a very simplified way. So let's get started. So suppose think about a study. We are calling it cohort study. Cohort study. Well, what we gonna do in cohort study? For instance, we have 100 number of people, a group of people of 100 people who have smoking habit. And we reach out another 100 people who are non-smoker. I'm writing in short way, N means non-smoker. And we are calling this particular group of people exposed and we are calling this particular unexposed. Now, what are you going to do here? As a researcher or a investigator, we are interested to following up this two particular group of people for a long period of time, say for example 10 years. So after following up for 10 years, we would like to see how many of them developed lung cancer. I'm writing in short way, LC means lung cancer, and how many of them not develop lung cancer. So I'm writing in this way, not develop lung cancer. And I found that among this 100 smoker that I have found 80% develop lung cancer and 20 doesn't develop lung cancer. And similarly, in unexposed group, I found that 30 developed lung cancer and 70 doesn't develop lung cancer. Well, so this is the data we get from our cohort study. Now what we gonna do here, we want to take the probability of developing lung cancer among exposed group. And we also want to calculate the probability of developing lung cancer among unexposed group and take the ratio of these two probabilities. So what we're going to do here, the probability of developing lung cancer among exposed group is what? 80 divided by 100. And similarly, the probability of developing lung cancer on unexposed group is 30 divided by 100. So we have taken the ratio of two probability. So again, keep in mind, we are taking the ratio of two probability. So and this ratio, the ratio of these two probability, we are referring it as relative risk. Now, after simplifying this, what is the result? See, 50 divided by 100 and 30 divided by 100. the value 2.66. So 2.66 is our relative risk. Now, what this 2.66 is telling us? So, actually, this value is telling us that people who have smoking habit has 2.66 times more likely to develop lung cancer compared to people who doesn't have smoking habit. Now, say for example, in same setting, and we get the relative risk 1, then what we can say? We can say that actually smoking doesn't have any association with lung cancer. And say for example, if we got in same setting, if we got the relative risk 0.03, something like this, I mean less than 1, then what we can say? We can say that people who have a smoking habit are less likely to develop lung cancer compared to people who don't smoke. That means we can say that smoking actually playing the role of protecting factor in developing lung cancer. Though literally it seems to be strange, but somehow if your data actually calculate something like this, then you can say it won't be an issue. But now let's clear it and consider about another study, another type of study. So we are calling it case control study. Case control study. Now, what we gonna do here? Say for example, we reach 100 people who already have lung cancer. So this 100 group of people, they have lung cancer. And we reach out another 100 group of people, they don't have lung cancer. So I'm writing NC, that means they don't have lung cancer. They are, you can say they are completely fit guys. However, we are calling this particular group of people case. And we are calling this particular group of people control. Well, now what we can do, we are going back from now and we are asking about the past. Like we are asking them, did you have smoking habit or not? And among these 100 people, they say, like 70 of them say, yeah, they have habit of smoking. So they are a smoker, they were a smoker. And 30 of them say, no, they never smoke. And similarly, we are asking them, taking them back and telling, did you ever smoke? And among these 100 people from country group, like 35 of them say, yeah, they smoke. 65 of them say they never smoke at all. They never smoke at all. And now we are actually calling this particular group of people exposed, and this particular group of people unexposed. And similarly here we are calling them exposed, and this particular group we are calling them unexposed. Now what we're going to do here, we are interested to take the odds of exposed group and unexposed group in case, and odds of exposed group and unexposed group in control. So what is the odds of exposed group and unexposed group in case is what? 70 divided by 30. And odds of exposed group and unexposed group in control is 35 divided by 65. Now here you can see we are not actually taking the odds of or the ratio of probability. We are taking the odds, ratio of odds. And actually this is actually called odd ratio. So here is the so that's the difference between relative risk and odd ratio. Here we are not taking the ratio of probability, we are taking the ratio of odds. That's why we are calling it odd ratio. However, simplifying this, what we're gonna get, let's calculate 70 divided by 30 and 35 divided by 65. So we get a result 4.33, which is the odd ratio. So what is 4.33 actually telling us? So this 4.33 actually telling us that people who have smoking habit, they have 4.33 times more likely to develop lung cancer compared to people who don't have a smoking habit. Now, similarly, for example, in the same setting, we got odd ratio 1. So then we can say actually smoking has no relation or no association with lung cancer. And somehow in the same setting, if we get a value which is less than 0, so for example something like 0.5, then we can say actually people who have smoking habit, they are less likely to develop lung cancer compared to people who doesn't smoke. And similarly, we can say actually that smoking is actually playing the protective factor role to the disease lung cancer. So though literally it seems like impossible, but if somehow the data calculate something like this 0.05, then you can say smoking is actually a protective factor in developing lung disease. That means people who actually smoke, they are less likely to develop lung cancer. So this is all about odd ratio. Well, I am again encountering again that in odd ratio we are actually measuring taking the odds, the ratio of odds, and in relative breeds we are we have seen that it's actually ratio of probability. So here you have to keep in mind these two things. And another thing you have to keep in mind, in case control study, you are not allowed to calculate relative risk. You are not allowed to calculate relative risk. So that means in case control study, the only measurement you have is odd ratio. Well, that's all about relative risk and odd ratio. I hope you like this video.